Potato! Welcome, boys and girls and all the new people, to the Potato Army, to a different sort of review video. The Darkest Timeline put this by me the other day. He said, when you're reviewing films, how about taking remastered films and the original and comparing the both? And as you can tell by the thumbnail, today we are doing the Wicker Man and the Wicker Man remake. The original was made in 1973, I think it was, yeah, 1973, and 2006. Wicker Man. The original had Christopher Lee featuring as the cult leader, and then the remake had Nicolas Cage featuring as the main character. Before we get into this, if you haven't seen the Wicker Man, I definitely recommend watching it. Whatever you want to see first is totally up to you. If you want to see the original or the remake, it's whatever you want. But to me, I saw the remake first, and I really wish I saw the original first. So if you're going to go and watch them, I definitely recommend the original. But I'm going to go over with the differences in the film. I'll compare the two, and I just thought to thank Darkest Timeline for this. He's an amazing bloke. Thank you so much for the ideas. I love the sort of idea because it's taking old classic films with remastered ones, so I could potentially do it with Friday the 13th, with Nightmare on Elm Street, the Halloweens, Hellraisers, the Wicker Man like today. And if you have any other films you'd like me to compare and review, leave them in the comment section below. And if you enjoy this video, please give this video a big thumbs up, and if you are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button and join the Potato Army. And yeah, let's get into it. Like I said, the first Wicker Man was made in 1973. Just let me get these pictures up here. And the cast, I'm going to give about 4 or 5 people from the cast. I need to turn that off because that's Discord beeping, sorry about that. Make sure you find the Discord as well. You can find it down below in the description. Sergeant Howie, which is the main character, was played by Edward Woodward. Christopher Lee playing Lord Summersisle. Christopher Lee played amazing in this film. I loved Christopher Lee in this film. And we got Diane Calento as Mrs. Rose, Britt Eklund as Willow, and Ingrid Pitt as a librarian. The women in this film were really creepy, man. There was a lot of creepy stuff in this film. They also won quite a few awards. The awards as well, I've seen the awards for the remake. They're not nice awards you'd be proud of, but the awards for the Wicker Man in 1973, they were nominated for a Saturn Award, which is Best DVD and Blu-ray Special Edition release, which is really cool to get, I think. How many films they have released on Blu-ray is absolutely crazy. That also won another... Actually, I think they're all Saturn Awards, but then they won another award for Best Horror Film, which is obviously an amazing award. And I mean, this is one of the best horror films in my opinion, because it's more psychological and more gory and jump scary. Then they also won Best Actor for Christopher Lee, Best Director for Robin Hardy, who directed it, Best Writing and Best Music. So pretty much nearly the best everything maybe you can get on a film. Best Horror Film, Best Actor, Best Director, Best Writing and Best Music. I mean, everything in this film, I think, in my opinion, is perfect. And they also won another award. Well, they got nominated for Best Classic DVD as well. So the awards in that were really good. I mean, Best Horror Film, Best Actor, Director, Writing and Music. They're pretty much everything you need in a movie right there. And it's just absolutely crazy, like those awards for a film back then as well. I mean, I think horror films were almost looked down upon back then. A lot got banned back in the day. But the cast in Wicker Man 2006 is obviously Nicolas Cage as Edward Malice, which is the main character. Ellen Burstyn as Sister Summersisle, so the cult leader is a female in this one. And you got Kate Beanhan as Sister Willow, which is the wife to Nicolas Cage. Francis Conroy as Dr. T.H. Moss, I think that's one of the teachers. And Molly Parker as Sister Rose and Sister Thorne. Like I said as well in the original, these characters are really creepy. especially the women in this one. The women are creepy, but the characters in the original, they just give you a proper eerie and horrible vibe. But Nicolas Cage was alright in this, but I'm not a really big Nicolas Cage fan. I only really liked him in Kick-Ass and what was the other film? Face Off. I haven't really enjoyed him in anything else. I just think he's an over-the-top actor, in my opinion, and he just gives off a really annoying vibe. But the awards, like I said, with the original, they won Best Actor, Best Director, Best Music, Best Horror Film. These ones are totally different from the other ones. They got a winner award for Best Cinematography in a Theatrical Feature, which I suppose is pretty decent. I think cinematography is like the set out and the layout of all the place. They got nominated for the worst movie of the year. I mean, Jesus Christ. Then they got nominated again, nominees for Worst Picture, Nicolas Cage's Worst Actor, Worst Screen Couple, Nicolas Cage in his bear suit. They also got nominated for Worst Remake and Rip-Off, which is absolutely crazy, and Worst Screenplay, which is absolutely... I mean, these nomination awards, and they won an award for the Worst Remake, and then another nominating Worst Actor in Nicolas Cage, which is... to be nominated for them awards isn't good. I mean, the film's decent, but when you get awarded for being a worst actor and the worst horror movie and remake, it's like a lot of people are going to get put off with the Wicker Man remake, and if people saw that today, they'll be like, do I really want to watch the original? And in my opinion, it sort of knocks people away from the original, in my opinion. But I was speaking to someone today about it, and they said I saw the one with Nicolas Cage and they don't want to see the Christopher Lee one because how bad this one was. And I was like, trust me, watch the original and you won't regret it. Like, the original was so good, but to be winning all those bad awards, it's just absolutely crazy. So we know who takes the point there for awards, and pretty much best film overall. Obviously the Wicker Man's going to win, but then I'm obviously going to go for different things. Like best evil leader, we had Ellen Burstyn, like I said, as Sister Summersole, and Christopher Lee as Lord Summersole. Can't go wrong with Christopher Lee. He played Count Dooku, he played Saruman, he also played the very first Dracula as well, so he's always going to be on point with this. But I just felt like there was no eeriness to Sister Summersole, the female leader. There was just no eeriness with it. She just literally felt like a cult leader, that was it. There was nothing scary about her, where with Christopher Lee, he just gave you that eeriness which Christopher Lee just gives off normally. But he played an amazing leader about the cults and how he believes in his religion and how he gets into the mind of Sergeant Howie's head, because he is a Christian, and how much he gets into his head, and he's like, oh, we can all dance naked, we were born naked, that's the way we're meant to be. And it's like absolutely crazy, and you just, Christopher Lee draws you in with everything he says, and it scares you a bit. And it's like how easily he can draw all these people in, where the woman, Sister Summersole, she just gave no eeriness off. She just literally felt like a leader of them all. It's like, yeah, we do whatever we want. We're all just go out and do what you want. So I think on the leader, Christopher Lee has to take it for me. He's just an absolutely amazing actor, and in my opinion, a better cult leader, because how he makes everyone believe what he says. I can't think of the word now, but he gets everyone to believe what he says, and it's absolutely crazy, because you're sitting there and you're like, maybe that is true, and that is scary a bit, when how easily it is to believe him. Then we go on to a best Wicker Man, so obviously the wooden statue at the end. The original, they left it till last minute. Like, you were waiting to see what was going to happen. You didn't know what it was. It was like, how are they going to sacrifice him? What are they going to do to him? And right at the last minute, they show you the statue, and just the way it's presented, like the camera zooms in straight to Sergeant Harry's face, and he's even like, you don't even see what it is. You see him come up the hill, then it zooms in, then he's like, oh my god, and you're like, what is it? And then it shows you the statue, then you're like, shit, he's going to be getting burnt to a crisp. Where in the remake, they sort of hint, and I think they show you a picture of like the Wicker Man, like the statue, so it sort of takes it away, saying you know what's coming, and then you know what's coming as well, because when they're taking him up to the statue, they show you the statue before he even sees it. So like, they're just walking up the hill and it's showing you the statue with really loud music like they do today. They just blare music at you like, boom, 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 this fucking statue is scary. You're meant to be scared, but you're not, because we've already shown you about 5 times in the film what the statue actually looks like. And then they show him the statue and he's just like, oh my god, I'm dead. But where in the original, you see the sheer fright on his face, and it's like, gee, I don't want to be burned. And also, the original Wicker Man ending did get into top 100 scariest moments ever in a film. So, straight away, in my opinion, once again, Wicker Man original takes it from me. Like I said, in the remake, they just shown way too much of the statue. Like, how they hinted it in the books, where in the original, you didn't really even think about the statue, you was thinking about the other rituals they were doing and stuff, which is really, really cool. Next, we're going to be moving on to Best Supporting Cast, so how creepy the cast were. The plots help out a lot. In the remake, it's mostly based around a cult of women, how they control their men and they use them as slaves and literally use them to breed. I think that's what they say, they're literally made to breed. So it's kind of like, really? Your whole island is just dedicated to slaves of men and you're literally just fucking them to make children. That is their job. I even think they take their tongues out so they can't even speak back. Please tell me this is not what the word's going to be coming to. Where in the original, you can tell they're all part of something. The men, the women, the children, they're all in on it, and it's just absolutely creepy how a small town can come together like that and just do all these, in my opinion, cool rituals, because it's like a festival and fun, which they didn't really make it fun in the new one. It was just really Blair. Just Blair. So it doesn't feel like the whole town doesn't even want to be on it. It's just, but in the original, they all come together as one, and the women didn't, or the women next to the leader, like her generals or something, or her like right hand people, they didn't feel eerie. They just didn't give off a creepy, weird following, like where in the original you had Willow, the teacher, and then there was another woman, I can't even remember where the third woman comes from. She just literally turns up near the end of the film, but the teacher is creepy as hell. She's just constantly giving off a weird foreign feeling, and it's just like, I don't like you, you're staring at me weird, your accent's creeping me out, and you're staring at me and talking to me about a rabbit. And then you've also got Willow, who will dance naked in a room. I think it's called like the Siren Call. I think that's something to do with Greek mythology, like what Medusa used to do or something, where the sirens draw you in with singing. I think I remember seeing it in the first God of War, where they sing and they draw you in, they're meant to look pretty, and then they kill you. She literally does that in the movie. She'll dance naked and just be banging on the wall singing to Sergeant Howie to come in and fuck her pretty much. But he's just like, no, I'm a virgin, no. I'm going to stay in here and shake and hug the wall and shake and look like I'm about to ejaculate in my pants. that's what literally he does. So I reckon the like best supporting cast for creepy people and the town has to be the original. It just feels like the remake doesn't touch on much good things, in my opinion. They just sorry about my language, but they fucked up with everything. They messed up with the cast, they messed up with the Wicker Man, they messed up with the leader. The plot just felt blur as well. I think the only thing that we're moving on to next is this is the only thing the remake wins at. Post-credit scene. The original didn't have one, which I liked. I mean, I don't like every film having a post-credit scene. I think the only ones I do accept them in is Marvel films. But when they give you post-credit scenes, and it's really hard as well in the remake. I mean, these only win this because they literally have a post-credit scene. So that's the only reason they win it for. I mean, if the original had a post-credit scene, the original would win it, because I bet they would put some at... I mean, I really think the original should win. They don't even need a post-credit scene, in my opinion. But at the end of the film, obviously, you hear Nicolas Cage screaming like he always does in every single film he's in. He'll just scream and get burnt. And that's just gone into my head. Why is he burnt in nearly every single film? I swear he gets burnt. Doesn't he get sort of burnt in Face Off? Well, technically he's all fucked up with his face, but he gets burnt in this, Ghost Rider, and what's the other film? Kick-Ass. Why does he get burnt in every single film? Come on now, Nicolas Cage. Come on, dudes. But, yeah, obviously you see the end scene where he dies, obviously, and then it switches to saying 6 months later, which is a bit... like in every other film. 6 months later. Why not 72 years later? Why can't we see all your children as adults and doing the same shit as you? But it goes 6 months later, it cuts to a club. It brings in one of my favourite actors, James Franco, which I really like to see. And they're in a club, and obviously they come eye to eye with Willow and one of her friends, which is from the island. And they obviously start chatting, and obviously because they're women from an island, they just accept any attention they get from a male. So they're easy to pull. They're like, oh, we're in here, we've got these girls easily. But yeah, you're going to be taken to an island, mate. Fucked. Have your tongue cut out. Take your sperm, have your children, and then you're going to be worked as a slave. And if you don't do that, you're going to be chucked into a Wicker Man and sacrificed to the sun god. Do you accept? No. I want to stay at home, drink a beer, and I'd rather just watch the film, okay? I'm good. But then, obviously they're like, oh, I like this girl, you can come back with me. And then obviously you hear Nicolas Cage screaming in the background. You're like, you just can't leave us alone, can you, Cage? You just gotta keep screaming. But yeah, I think that's the only reason it wins a point, because it's done a post-credit scene, and it's a film. You can't even find the scene in many ways anyway. They deleted it from the Blu-ray, they deleted it from the theatrical cut. I don't even think you can get it on the extended cut, because I don't think there is one. And the only time I have seen it is when it was on HBO, and that was when I was live streaming it. That's the only time I've seen a post-credit scene, so that's the only one they win, in my opinion. Then we move on to the posters. The posters, in my opinion, the first one chucks it straight at you. It's eerie, it's gothic, it's unsettling, you don't know what's coming. You got sheep masks and other masks in a crowd, and you've got bloody Christopher Lee like, no, summer. Obviously you can't hear him singing, but he's in that position. And then you have the picture of the Wicker Man next to it as well. So it's an eerie, like, gothic, unsettling feeling to the poster. You're like, oh my god, what sort of film is this going to be? And in the new one, they give you literally Nicolas Cage eyes and a typical scary little girl, because that's not like nearly in every single horror film today. in my opinion. So it feels like they don't seem to chuck it at you. I mean, they might as well just put Nicolas Cage and his bear suit on the poster. It might have gotten a few more people enjoying the film if they just put Nicolas Cage in a bear suit for the poster, in my opinion. But yeah, the poster just chucks it out at you, and it's like, I don't know what I'm going to be expecting from this film. Where the second poster, you're like, oh, this is going to be a typical crap, spooky horror film, in my opinion. Then we move on to the final biggest what the fuck moment, where a horror film has a what the fuck moment. You don't know what you've just seen. You're sitting there like, did I just see that? Did I just imagine that? Or did that actually just happen? Or you'll have to rewind it to see what the fuck you just seen. That's why it's called a what the fuck moment. The remake, it was a weird one, because I was sitting there and I was like, how did that just happen? Because he's sitting on a boat. Obviously the plot is he's trying to find a missing girl, and during that he's going through a traumatic time because he stopped this car to pull him over to tell him something was wrong with their headlight, like a cop always does, because there's a good cop. Yeah, 'cause good cops really do exist, apparently. And then this little brat of a kid keeps chucking a toy out the window because she has no respect. She's just like, screw you, mum, I'm going to keep throwing my dad out the window, so you got to keep stopping and give me attention. And then obviously he goes to pick up the doll, then wham, gets smashed by a truck. So he's obviously going through a traumatic time, just seeing a mum and her daughter get whacked by a truck. Then on the way to the island, he's just seeing this girl standing on the rail who looks a spick of the girl in the car. And then he goes to walk up to him to obviously speak to him. Then all of a sudden the girl gets hit by a truck while he's on a ferry on the water. Where has that hovering truck just come from? That's what I was like. I was just like, they literally just done that as a jump scare moment, but I was just like, how does a girl get hit by a truck on a boat? How? Unless it's Back to the Future. But then in the original, they just take it because how absolute fucking weird it is, and I've already spoke about it. It's where Willow is dancing naked in the bedroom, singing her siren song, trying to get Sergeant Howard to come in and obviously have sex with her, because so you're watching it, so she starts singing and you're like, oh, this is a very good melody, and then she starts just banging on the wall, dancing, just shaking her ass about, totally butt ass naked, and just starts banging on the wall, and then Sergeant Harry starts to shake, so obviously it's getting into his head, and then he starts touching the wall, and he's like picturing that her on the wall, and it's like, dude, you're groping a wall and looking at yourself in a picture, so you can see your reflection of yourself touching the wall. And she just carries on, and so he's trying to like resist it, and then she just does this weird fucking head shit, and he's like, I'm a wizard. It will come into this room and penetrate me. And you're just sitting there, you're watching it, and you're like, is this normal? I was like, I'm enjoying it. It's a dancing naked girl in a bedroom, but it's weird at the same time. So I think in the original takes it for me. How many points did the original actually win? Did it even win any for me? Did it?
Everything changes.
Actually, though, that wasn't the last one. I got one more, which the director's agenda, so the plot of the movie. A few people voted for the remake for this one, because I've already spoke about the remake, where the whole community is why they love their men, because they are literally our slaves and are breeding for the most important job is literally breeding. Like, we're using your men to just give us babies, and then they will work for us for free, and they can't say anything because we took the tongues out. I mean, that's just absolutely creepy. And then obviously their island is known for their honey, so they have loads of bees. And then obviously typically Nicolas Cage's character is allergic to fuck by bees, so why not just have bees in there? But that's what the plot is mostly around. That community is mostly using its men for breeding. That's meant to be like the big plot twist. When the original, it's more, it's about Christians and pagans, so I reckon it got touched on a lot back in the day. Like, a lot of Christians maybe wouldn't have liked this film, but it's talking about Christians and pagans, how Sergeant Howie is a Christian and he's come over to this island, and they just totally follow a different religion, or they believe in the god of the sun and sort of the god of the sea, pretty much like Viking style sort of stuff, and how they help grow their apples and all the other stuff and their fruits of the island, and they believe like sacrifices help out with them and stuff. Like, throughout the film you'll see different sort of rituals, like with the willow scene, with the siren calling. Then you've also got the schools where like they properly talk about penises and how the growth of them and how to mate and stuff like that. Or they properly touch on it when they're young children, which obviously they do more now, but back then they would have been like, you're talking to children about sex, and it's like that. Apparently that was bad back then. And then they believe in regeneration, like when they die their soul goes into trees, into animals, where Sergeant Howie, because he believes in God, he believes they regenerate as a new human being and be reborn, where he's not liking any of this. And then you see different rituals, like where women jump over bonfires naked to help growth of a baby. Like, I can't remember why it is now. Is it like where they get impregnated just by jumping over a fire? So I think it's like impregnated without having sex, and then proper Sergeant Howie kicks off about it. And then maybe one of my favourite lines from the movie is, can it really be that stupid? Because apparently Mary, the mother of God, she had Jesus by what? She just become all of a sudden pregnant while a virgin, so pretty much impregnated by a ghost. And he's like, that's pretty much what we believe in, mate, so we're pretty much almost following the same religion. And that always gets me. It's like, that's just a massive kick in the balls to him. So a lot of people voted on the remake for that plot, but I enjoyed, it's my opinion and stuff, you guys can have your opinion. I'm not saying you have to like that. But I enjoyed the Christianity and the pagan sort of style of it all, because it's really gothic and unsettling. And yeah, for me, the original Wicker Man takes it for me. But that was a comparison of the Wicker Man. In my opinion, the original Wicker Man beat pretty much the remake on every single thing. I think the only one the remake won for me was the post-credit scene. But that's just my opinion. If you guys had different opinions, let me know down below in the comment section. If you'd like to see another compared movie from the original to a remake, let me know also in the comment section down below. Let me know what you thought of this first ever comparing video. I've enjoyed it. It's like speaking about both sides of it and the differences. I still can't believe the bad awards the remake won. In my opinion, they deserve them. If you haven't seen any of the Wicker Mans, I'd definitely recommend watching the original. Then if you want to spend your time watching the remake, you can. I think everyone almost wasted their time with the remake. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Please give it a big thumbs up, and let's aim for 20 likes for this first ever comparing video. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join the Battalion Army. I'll be dominating SPUD. I love you, Battalion Army, and like always, don't forget to stay starchy.